Independent thought, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Do you believe that white Americans are inherently racist?
Oh! It's Joy Reid. We're going to talk more about her in this interview later. You know, something I realized, when we put this little shindig together several years ago, right? It was just me. It was producer Phil. Another guy working for us, Brett Winterball. Many of you guys who've listened to Rush for years, he was his producer. And Radio America. And the whole thought process, I want to do something different. I don't want hate radio. Oh, Chad, what are you talking about? We're addicted to outrage. We're addicted to outrage. And both sides, by the way, are addicted to it. We have gotten to this point now where unless it's more outrageous, it's almost like the dopamine doesn't kick in, right? Like that first hit of outrage. Oh, my God, I'm so outraged. That first hit of outrage, that first hit of craziness, that first hit of chaos, we need it. And then we keep going back and we chase that dragon. We can't catch that dragon. That dragon's too fast. That dragon's so fast. It's never been faster. And if you don't think that's true, I found something interesting. And I'm sharing this with you because, well, quite frankly, like I said, we want to do things different. I wanted to build an audience that was based in reality, not insanity. I want to build an audience that cares. You know what? I care about people and I care about policies, and the outrage, while some of it's entertaining, I sit there and shake my head. Here's the changes in monthly traffic in the months before and after Trump left office. So this was August to January, right? And then February through May. So huge numbers up until then. Massive numbers. Far left, leaning left, mainstream, far right, right-leaning, mainstream for the conservatives. You ready for this? The drops are insane. The falling off. Mother Jones, super left, down 42%. 42%. Vox crashes 20%. Mainstream media, whoa, down 20% overall. Far right, Newsmax down huge. Fox News down massive. In fact, far right and far left 30% down. Far right, 44% down. Left-leaning, almost 20%. Right-leaning, almost 36%. Mainstream media overall, 20% down. Why is that? It's tough. It's tough when you're looking for outrage. And there's not a lot. Trump was the foil. Trump was perfect. He was a fighter, and the right could defend him, and he'd say outrageous stuff, and the left had the perfect foil. He was the evil monster. But nobody ever paid attention. Did he actually do some stuff? He did. That's what I said. The difference between me and a lot of other people is I don't go for the outrage. It bores me. It's easy. If I was going to do outrage radio, which happens, you guys know that, I could wake up an hour and a half later. I could get to work 30 minutes before my show started, pick the 3 most outrageous things, find a few clips, and then piss people off. And for a lot of people, that's all they want because they're addicted to being angry. And both sides are. Both sides are addicted to being angry in some way, shape, or form. Country's going to hell in a handbasket. And the other side's like, did you ask me if I'd like to go to coffee? Did you just sexualize me? I mean, that's the insanity of which we live. Left-leaning and right-leaning are struggling. Here's the reality. The drop is huge. Normally, this is the time when the party that's not in power absolutely explodes. Why? Because they're not in power. So people are going over and going, hold on a second, these people have all the power. Maybe we should look over here. It's not happening. In fact, Fox and a lot of other precipitous drop in there. And the reason's simple. It's hard to get a foothold on the Biden administration because he's dull. What did I say at the beginning of this long journey of Biden? Here's how he's going to unite the country. He'll bore us to death. So we're like, I don't care anymore. I just don't care. We are addicted to outrage in a way that it's scary. It is. Like I said, when I started doing the show, my whole thought process is I don't want to be that person. I don't want to do 4 hours of hate radio. I don't want to do 3 hours of hate radio. I say hate radio, but it's just, let me come on here and talk about how horrible everybody is. It's not. We could joke about stuff, but the reality is, I don't think Biden's a bad person. Is he doing a bad job? He's doing a good job with coronavirus. He's done a horrible job at the border. I can separate the two. Did the same thing with Trump. I think he did a good job with the economy, a great job with the economy. I think he did some good stuff standing up to some people who took advantage of us. And I think he did a pretty good job at the border, minus one thing. And yeah, it sucked and it was stupid, and we criticized him. But I can separate the two. But we need the outrage. And that's what we live. And people didn't see this coming. I saw it coming. I said, look, reality shows aren't reality. They're not. They're just people being pissed and angry and being put in horrible situations to argue with each other where we can watch them argue. But that's where we are. Case in point, Boba Fett. Boba Fett! They have to change his name. Not his name, but the name of Slave One, which is a ship from a television show. Because people are upset about it. I'm like, this is where we are. We don't have, this is the point I'm trying to prove. This is how amazing our country is. We are so incredible that we have to be pissed off at something because we live in a world of incredibleness. We make stuff up to be mad about because we need the outrage. We have allowed outrage to become the drug of choice in our world. We've allowed that to become the drug of choice. Somebody said to me the other day, the reason that we're so angry is because they have allowed Fox News all those years to come across. I said, no. The real reason we're pissed off at each other is, things are so damn good that we figure we better be mad at something. Social media, each other, everybody's opinions now are free to express and also free to say, you suck. Social media gave us a lot of that, but it was always in us. You always had it in you. It's like White Men Can't Jump. You ever see that movie? What happens at the end of the movie? Spoiler alert. He can dunk a basketball, Woody Harrelson. So he could jump. Yeah, it was always in him. We are addicted to outrage. We're addicted to it. And the media loves it. Because the more outrage that they can find in something, doesn't matter what it is. The more outrage that they can find in something, whether it's the coronavirus, whether it's politics, whether it's race, the more outrage that they can do. Do you ever watch any of the nightly shows? I very rarely watch them. I'll get some of the highlights because some of the stories are interesting, but they're not interesting. Remember, whatever story you want to tell, if you're going to tell it in 4.5, 5 minutes, how interesting can it actually be? Because all they really want is the outrage. I've been on those shows. They don't want you to say anything where you're constructive and come across in a normal way. That's what the Sunday shows used to be about. Cable news is about saying the most absurd, most insane thing. And asking questions like this, Joy Reid.
Do you believe that white Americans are inherently racist?
Because people go, oh, she's... No, it's about being angry, and it's about being loud, and it's not about anything other than that. We're addicted to outrage, and you can tell every single day that we're getting more and more angry, and you don't even know why. You don't. Trust me, I'll get stuff here when you talk about Tucker Carlson. Some of the stuff Tucker Carlson says is insane. It's nuts. Watch any of those shows. They pick something, they get pissed at it. The problem with the left is that guy's gone. Right? So he's gone. So they're the right. They're like, we're trying to figure out a way to attack Biden. But how do you attack Biden? Okay, we'll try this stuff and we'll try. Their drug of choice is becoming irrelevant. So they're going after critical race theory. And there's a reason to go after it. Absolutely. There's 100% there's a reason to. And the funny thing is when you listen to people say, well, critical race theory is all these things or it's really good. No, it depends on who's teaching it. When you've got a teacher like the one we played yesterday who's all about being an activist, I have issues with that. We're addicted to outrage. That's it. We like it. If you take away the outrage and you actually had to sit there and listen to some people talk about certain things, I think you'd be bored because we've become addicted. It's our adrenaline now. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your tweeter. You can tweet her at us, your love, your hate. I'm fine with all of it. I am. Again, if it makes you feel good to tell me I'm an awful human being and that makes your day a little bit better, we're good with that. I can live with it. I can. For sure. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Raycon, best earbuds around. Probably going to go do a little golfing later. Might, if I can. You know what I did the other day? So I went golfing. I'm going to tell you how much I didn't want to miss any of the soccer games. So the Italy-Austria game was on. And I was able to listen to it. This is how beautiful the world is now. I can listen to soccer while I'm golfing. And I never missed any of the action. Sometimes I was 100+ feet, even more away from my phone where the game was playing. And I was able to get back and forth. Never had to worry about it. Just not hearing it, any of that stuff. The wind was whipping, and I heard every moment, and I love it. Different colors, the amazing models, the E25s, the E55s are incredible. 6 hours of talk time and listen to time. With the charging cases, you get anywhere between 24 and 36 hours. Waterproof, 45-day guarantee, and the best sound quality with no stems, no wires. Get your Raycons now. Save big. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad to save an extra 15%. You're going to love these. 45-day happiness guarantee, 1-year warranty, right? So, let's just say something happens to your earbuds. It could even be an accident. They'll replace them. No questions asked. Free shipping. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. BuyRaycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
Set Chad straight. Text the show 323-538-2423. That's 323-538-CHAD. Someone has to do it. Might as well be you. The Chad Benson Show.
Hundreds of people gathered on a South Florida beach to remember the victims of the building collapse in Surfside.
I can feel the pain that the family is carrying.
Rescuers are now beginning their 6th day of searching for signs of life in the rubble.
Yeah. Is there signs of life? People are hoping and praying. They're treating it still as if there may be.
Chances of us finding someone alive is diminishing with every hour that passes, but we're always going to remain hope, and we are still in a rescue mission.
Still in a rescue mission. But I think we all know that, you're at a point where it goes from a rescue mission to a recovery, if possible, meaning that there's no hope for anybody being alive, even though they're looking, to an identification mission, which is what they've been asking family members already for their DNA, because at this point, chances of them finding people alive or even intact, even if they're dead, is probably slim to none. And it's still one of those situations where they're trying everything they can.
It's now the 5th day. I have not lost any hope or faith.
They're saying as they send these little drones and robots down, they can see inside that these things have pockets where there could be air and potentially people. So you don't know. But at this point, would it be highly unlikely? I would probably say at this point, I think it would be highly unlikely. And now it's going to also start to switch to how, again, in God's name, did this take place? How in a modern society did this building collapse out of nowhere? How did that happen? How in God's name did that happen? And I've been telling people over the last 24, 48 hours, don't be surprised if there will be criminal charges eventually. Don't be surprised about that.
The Wall Street Journal publishing a letter it says was sent by the condo board's president in April, warning that significant repairs were needed and that the building had deteriorated since that 2018 report, saying, indeed, the observable damage, such as in the garage, has gotten significantly worse since the initial inspection. When you can visually see the concrete spalling cracking, that means the rebar holding it together is rusting and deteriorating beneath the surface.
Yeah. You think about that. Somebody, first of all, in any situation like this, we want answers. That's inherently what we want. I mean, it doesn't, it's like when there's a mass shooting. What's the first thing? Who is this person? We want answers. Why did you do something like this? When there's a plane crash, why did that happen? Was it a freak situation? Was it a small little thing that escalated to a big thing? When a boat sinks, whatever. This is the same thing. We want answers, because once we think we can start to get the answers, then what do we want? We want people held accountable if there is something that we think could have been done. And it's not just going to be monetarily, I think, in this. I think there were people who probably knew a little bit more. Now, did they think this was going to happen? No. I don't think they did. But at the end of the day, there's going to be some people that will probably have to answer for some of this stuff. Now, were they starting to do repairs? Yes, but too little too late, obviously. And if you're on that side of Surfside right there, and you're in a building, you're asking yourself, who owns this building? How safe are we? And even if we are safe, do you feel like you can believe anything coming out of anybody's mouth at that moment in time? Probably not. And if you want to move and you're trying to sell one of those places, yeah, you're probably not getting what you would hope you would get for it at this moment in time. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us. The Delta variant, how dangerous could it be? We're going to touch on that. Plus, Bill Maher, they're coming after him. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they? It's Tuesday. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The study published in the journal Nature showed that mRNA vaccines like Pfizer and Moderna produced high levels of neutralizing antibodies and those important B cells which help support the immune system. But instead of peaking after a week or two, researchers found nearly 4 months later there was still a strong immune response, essentially training the body long term to fight off infection.
Isn't that what we want, right? Like, we want to have that one and done's our dream. Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. When it comes to this damn coronavirus, of course, you got the new Delta variant. Yesterday, I talked to a big doctor out here, Shadmer Vasti, who is with the University of Arizona, kind of runs their medical program out here. And he said, this thing, so that's, remember the UK variant, right? So that thing was like 50 times more easily to catch, right? Like the thing was, it was just more contagious, 50 times more contagious. This is like so much more contagious than that. Oh, should we be terrified? No, we're not. Should we be going and wearing masks again? He suggested, but he also says, look, you got to get a good mask, and that's also the other side of it, which I just don't think is going to happen again. But when you look, they've had some issues in Israel's lockdown. Israel, though, I was talking to a couple of people because I was reading some of the studies because I'm a little bit of a wonky nerd like that. And I'm reading some of the studies. And the reality is, I think a lot of people thought because the way Israel came out of it that so many people were vaccinated, like everybody in Israel is vaccinated. It's not even true. It's only about half the population that's vaccinated. So not everybody's vaccinated. That helps, by the way. Vaccines help. They do. Vaccines, for those of you who aren't going to take a vaccine for whatever reason, my question's always been why. Why aren't you taking a vaccine? I'm just, I'm curious. There's nothing. Everybody can make their own choice. I don't care if you do or don't take a vaccine. That's not. I would never push you to do that. Again, we're doing stuff here. I'm not into outrage. Oh God, Chad. It's just why. It's like white evangelicals. Like they're not taking the vaccine. Well, why? Like does your pastor tell you to do that? Like do you think God? Do you think I've seen so many things. It's the number of the beast. There's microchips in it. There is the one in the Latin community that goes around that has been flying around is if you take this, you're going to be impotent and you're going to be sterile, which is not true. Obviously, that's not happening. Well, you don't know what's going to happen. No, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't. I have no idea what's going to happen. And neither do you. But you could say that about anything you take, right? Am I correct? Can you say that? Well, we've had studies of all these things. mRNA has been around for a while. DNA has been around for a while, right? So Johnson & Johnson, these things, it's not like, well, this is the first time this is the first time they've used this for this. But a year into people being on the trial and now into this, it seems like we haven't turned into plants or we're not being controlled by certain things, certain elements within the government. But we want that one and done. And those people they're studying who've had the Moderna or Pfizer and were also infected with it may have a lifetime of protection.
The best case scenario, this probably will last for the life of the person who successfully got immunization with the 2 doses of the vaccine.
Yeah, that'd be huge. I think most people are like, yeah, that's pretty awesome. I could totally get into that. I think we could all totally get into that. It's what we want. We want one and done and get on with our lives, even though it's 2 and done in this. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. And, I don't, like when we're talking about vaccine, we're talking about a lot of things, like internet. You're never going to sway anybody on the internet, right? Like their belief they bring to the interwebs, to Twitter, to Facebook, to Instagram. They believe that already. They bring that there. Then it's just from there, confirmation bias and being able to go and affirm your belief. So you're never going to change into it. What changes people's minds is usually experience, right? Usually experience. Poll that came out, 57% of Republicans believe that the pandemic is over. 4% of Democrats believe it's over. 4%. Like, that's weird. Do I think the pandemic's over? No. Well, let's is it over? No, because globally it's still causing hell and havoc all over the place. Is it behind us? In some ways, yeah. I think the worst is behind us. But is it completely gone? No. But is it 4%? No. Democrats, 4%. Goes back to what we talked about a few weeks ago. The worry the Democrats have over this. And that article in The Atlantic where they're talking about the fact that why are Democrats and progressives continually pushing to stay in lockdown and push for these crazy measures? Why are they continuing to do that? I don't know. Republicans want it out early. Democrats want to stay in longer. You do you. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Bill Barr says and does a lot of things. I like Bill Barr. Speaks his mind. He pisses off both sides. He tries to hold people accountable, holds their feet to the fire, which needs to be done more often than not. And that's both sides of the political sphere, even if it's not politics. Remember last week, Lin-Manuel Miranda, he had to apologize for Into the Heights because of what? He didn't have enough, was it Afro-Latin people in his Into the Heights show, telling a bit of a story kind of about what he grew up and something he'd worked on. And he had to come out and apologize, right? And it's hilarious that you had to come out and apologize. You didn't have to, but he did. And Bill Maher took him on and said, like, this is stupid. Stop apologizing for stuff. And he went after the Democrats.
This is why people hate Democrats. It's cringy. Obviously, he felt it was important enough for him to make this apology. Do I think he really thinks he should apologize? I don't. He just wants to avoid the news cycle. I don't blame him. You know, I understand this. But at some point, people are going to have to stand up to these bullies, because that's what it is. It's just bullying. I can make you crawl like a dog, and I enjoy it. I mean, he's a Latino making a Latino movie with a Latino cast. Not good enough.
No. Not good enough. For some people in life, it will never, ever, ever be good enough. That's the reality of it. Joe Rogan.
You can never be woke enough.
You can never be woke enough. Well, they're coming hard for him now. Old Bill Maher. Right? And again, what is it all about? It's about outrage. It's about being pissed. It's about being angry. And he's in the crosshairs. This is Tiffany Cross. And you listen to this, you're like, why are you so pissed and angry?
Okay, Bill Maher has been whack for a long time. I did see the clip segment of him complaining about Lin-Manuel Miranda apologizing for the lack of Afro-Latino representation in his movie In the Heights.
I mean, he's a Latino making a Latino movie with a Latino cast. I don't think you have to apologize to Twitter.
Bill Maher, you do not get to tell people of color what they should or should not be offended by. Stay in your lane, Slim.
Okay. He'll stay in his... By the way, Bill Maher just laughs at crap like this. Like he should. No, Bill, you shouldn't tell people that. And on the other side of things, you shouldn't tell people like Bill Maher's a comedian who he gets to criticize and not criticize. This wasn't about people of color. This is about the Twitter mob and the insanity of the stuff that goes on out there. Now, if you think about this, let's go from the macro, Bill Maher and somebody, to the micro, to the average person that says a joke offhand or says, well, I don't know if, you shouldn't be offended by that, or I just said that, I like your shoes, that gets into a position where they're in potentially in peril because work now has to have a conversation about it, and all of a sudden you get branded as something, and you go to apply for a job, and it becomes a nightmare. And that happens a lot more than people think.
Maybe you should have more diverse panels of people who can explain colorism to you and systemic racism and how these things still devastate people's lives and livelihoods today. Try that instead of standing on your alabaster perch every week to crap on other people's lived experience while providing a safe haven for well-established white supremacists.
Yeah, because when I watch Bill Maher's show, it's nothing but right-wing lunatics. No, it's not. You know that, and I know that. And it's so funny, the same people that scream about, Bill, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. It's again, it goes back to the outrage. No, look, I don't know your experience. I don't know any of your experiences, just like you don't know my experiences. But you want to judge me based on my skin color and not my experience. Well, yeah, of course. That's what we want. No, that's the stupidity of which, that's why we have the outrage. That's why we have the one person. My God, we had a guy quit a band of which he had started with his buddies in Mumford & Sons because he felt like he wanted to be able to have a conversation about politics because he liked the fact that Andy Ngo, who we've had on the show before, wrote a book about Antifa, criticized them immensely. Now remember, Andy Ngo got his ass whooped by Antifa and put him in the hospital. And that guy, they tried to cancel him because he liked Andy Ngo's book. Is that the insanity of which we live? Yes. That's it. It's not about whether or not Bill Maher. Stop apologizing is the number one thing you should do. If you do something to somebody, apologies are wonderful. If your thought is, I liked Andy Ngo's book, I thought it was pretty spot on. I'm sure it was told by one side of it, but I did like Andy Ngo's book. And they're like, you need to go. That's the cancel and the BS that people are sick and tired of. And that's where like, well, I'm sorry. Are you really sorry? No. But will this help me keep my job for something I didn't do? Tell me how to think.
But this is yet another of your perspectives that's embarrassingly ignoring what's happening all around you that you're refusing to see. The truth is, what's happening now is an evolution, and you are fighting for your power and privilege to not become fossilized while basking in the rays of your own non-existent cleverness and comedy bits circa 3 decades ago. And quite frankly, it's just offensive at this point.
So you're offended now. You're outraged. Of course. Of course you're outraged. You're angry because of, well, you have no privilege. And no, wait, hold on a second. You're on television talking about stuff like this. Yeah, of course you do. You have privilege. You're in this country, and I'm in this country, and we're blessed to be here, where we have so many vaccines that we're having to raffle them off because, like, come, please, for the love of God, we'll give you an opportunity to win $1 trillion, please.
The country, like it or not, is changing in real time. And sadly, fake time with Bill Maher is not. So perhaps it's time for you to take a step back and blow a 1/4 ounce of that green that you love so much, because clearly your thoughts have been lost in a white fog for far too long.
You got him. That's the stuff. You're outraged. Why are you outraged? Why are you so angry? Why are you so pissed? Well, what Bill said, because it's part of how they sell it nowadays. Have to be angry. Have to. Do I really think she thinks Bill Maher's a horrible person? No. Bill probably have her on the panel. Probably will. This may have even helped her. If I'm Bill, I'm asking her, come on over. Talk to me. Don't know about your experience. You find out, well, he's not really a Richard. It's all right. Of course not. Does she really believe those things? I'm here to tell you, so many of the people you listen to and you watch on television, you'd be surprised at what they believe off the air. You kind of get what you get with me. I eat like a 7-year-old. I watch soccer. I love golf. Love my kids. Love my family. Love my wife. I'm just kind of a normal cat. Tried to be outraged, but it's tough, man. It's tough to be outraged when I look around and go, I'm living a pretty damn good life. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show's your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program, MyPillow. Talk about nice. Think about this. You're sliding into them sheets, right? Now, if you've stayed at a hotel, you ever stayed at a hotel where, like, these sheets are awful? What's this, sandpaper? And then you've stayed someplace, you're like, well, this is really nice. What are these? Yeah, well, that's what these are, times 10. Called Giza Dream Sheets. One low price, 2 sets, right now. Now, let me tell you something. The cotton is grown in a region, Sahara Desert, right? This is where it's between the Mediterranean Sea and the Nile River. It's a long, staple cotton that makes ultra-soft, breathable material. It's incredible. Available in all kinds of styles and colors. Machine washable, 6-day money-back guarantee, 1-year limited warranty. That's what I want you to do. Take advantage of this. So you're buying one, getting another one for free. 2 sets for the price of one. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Or call 800-983-4975. 800-983-4975. Take advantage of this and all the other deep discounts they got on all of their products. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Helen Keller is a Nazi terrorist that is a male. Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of Hitler?
Who's Hitler?
Vaccines work, but only the Chad Benson Show is 100% effective against stupidity.
Do you know what D-Day is? D-Day.
A person? A rapper?
God, Karen, you are so stupid.
Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and wherever you find your favorite woke-free podcasts. This is the Chad Benson Show.
The BTS song Butter showing no sign of melting. Number 1 for a 5th week in a row on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart. In second, Olivia Rodrigo's Good For You, the last song to hit number 1 just before Butter debuted. It's been the top song on streaming for 6 weeks. And Rodrigo's album Sour returns to number 1 on the Billboard 200 album chart and the top song on radio. Dua Lipa's Levitating might be 3rd on the singles chart, but it's the most played song on the airwaves.
Man, BTS. These guys are popular. Very popular. No wonder Kim Jong-un says they're evil. See that? God, have you seen him lately? Oh, man. It's weird, right? Like, people are like, we're really worried about him. I'm like, okay, probably had some issues health-wise. Let's be real, he was completely unhealthy. Like, he's unhealthy on a level of drinking, smoking, eating horrible food all day long, and totally unhealthy. That is all, like, totally true. But people are like, he's emaciated. What if he decided, you know what? I think I'm going to get fit. I don't want to look like this anymore. What if he's flipping around on his Instagram that he's not supposed to have, but he does have? And he thinks to myself, I'm getting that 90-day beach body, and I'm going to put it to the test. I'm doing this. And there's going to be a before and after of him, right? And he's going to show a picture of Kim Jong-un. And then afterwards, he's all tan with like a mohawk, and he's all got like a six-pack. This could happen to you if you try hard enough. He's probably got cancer. But it's just hate cancer because he's an awful person. Let's be real. It's not very nice, Chad. All right. Well, I'm just saying. But you don't know. Like, people, he's emaciated. Maybe he's trying to get fit. I mean, that's also something, and you would think he's got the means to do it. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from you. Are you outraged? Are you addicted to outrage? Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Outrage! What we've been talking about today. Being outraged. Well, you guys know if you listen to the program, God bless you. I'm not one for outrage. I had other things going on in my life. I like talking about stuff that matters. I like talking about things that matter to everybody. You know, yesterday's a perfect example. So Gwen Berry, she's on the Olympic team. She's a hammer thrower. If you guys don't know what hammer throw is, just the thing where they throw the discus, that round circle thing. I think they do the same thing there with the hammer throw. The difference is they bring that net up because the hammer throw is this long chain, and attached at the end of it is a ball. And you spin yourself in circles, picking up speed as you go around and around and around, and then you hurl it and let it go once you've picked up the right speed, and it flings out there, and then they mark it, and that's the hammer throw. She's going to be on the Olympic team, and she was pissed. You know, she turned the other way, and I touched a bit about it yesterday, and I asked her to think a very fair question. You know, if you're not happy with the U.S. team, and why be on it? If you're not happy with that, and, you know, she's like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the fact that they played the anthem. And they're like, we played the anthem like all the time. So, and, you know, she's answering back to some of the critics. So, you know, basically saying, you know, some people, because a lot of people came out and blasted her. She's an activist, athlete. That's fine. By the way, the Olympics isn't going to let that fly. They got like Section 50, which basically says if you do any activism, we're going to send you home. And there's already enough stuff going on with the Olympics that they're probably like, I hope nobody does anything because we cannot afford to lose anybody. So, and people got mad at her, but it's part of the outrage, right? Like, that's part of, you're affirming my outrage. I like that. I like that. You're affirming my outrage. I'm outraged and angry over her. I'm like, you're angry over first of all, she's pissed because she said, oh, they played the anthem. They did that to me on purpose. I'm like, really? Is that what they did? Do you know that for a fact? Right? She goes, we didn't wait until the athletes were on the podium for the Hammer Throw Awards. National anthems played every day according to a previously published schedule. She said her mission is bigger than sports. That's fine. She's here to represent those who died to systemic racism. That's an important part. That's why I'm going. That's why I'm here today. But it was the outrage. Because it's so easy, right? I keep telling everybody, you know how easy it is for me if I wanted to do this? I could come in and I could prep this show in 5 minutes. Right? And it'd be the easiest thing. And I could say stuff and people are like, oh, yeah, I'm not into it. I don't want to affirm your belief. I want your belief to be your belief. So I did ask the question yesterday. Somebody's like, well, you were pissed. I said, no, I asked the question. If you're pissed off and you don't want to represent the United States because you believe it's systemically, racist, and let's be real, let's not pretend it wasn't, then why would you want to go? Wouldn't it say something bigger if you said, you know what, I'm not going to represent you? Now, people say, well, she can go as an independent athlete. She can't because we're not banned by the IOC, and she could represent us. So there is no protocol for something like that. Plus, she would lose out on all the stuff. Because the beauty of America is she's going to have opportunities with the U.S. track and field team. She's going to have opportunities with the being on the track team to get to facilities and to work out in areas that will help her. So that's the beauty of that. And she probably doesn't want to give that up. So, but it's just watching some of the stuff that people said. And some of these people, it's part of the game that you have to play. Like Dan Crenshaw attacked her. That's fine. He's got every right to. I got no problem with, you're going to put yourself out there. Ted Cruz tweeted, why does the left hate America? Scott Walker blasted her. Dan Crenshaw said she should be removed from the team. Should she be removed from the team? No, I don't think she should be removed from the team. She qualified. She did what she did. If she wins a gold, and it's a big if, I don't think she is the favorite. She wins a medal. Well, if she wins a medal, unless it's another American, then she didn't have to worry about that. But it's easy to be outraged. I just want to know why. It's like the people who won't get vaccinated. Well, why? Why won't you get vaccinated? I'm just curious. Some people are like, look, I like to give it a little time. I'm like, totally understand that. Other people like, it's because when you turn the microwave on and you stand next to a 5G tower, you somehow are a robot. I'm like, I think you've lost your mind. That's just my opinion. Not a licensed medical professional, but I do believe that if you talk to one, they may back me up in that. It's okay to ask the question, though. And it's okay to be pissed and angry. I get it. But we're addicted to outrage. We're addicted to being angry. We're addicted to looking at the other side and no longer saying my ideas are better than your ideas. You just inherently suck. And I don't like that. I think it's a good thing. Some of it I expect. Politics, right? Like right now, Ted Cruz said something the other day about Kamala Harris going to the border. Right? We've asked questions about that. I think everybody has a fair right to ask a question how you are the quote-unquote czar and you've not been to the border in forever. Forever. She comes out, after her thing, talks about, I'm here. And she didn't go anywhere the border was a mess. She went to a place that made her feel comfortable. It's okay because it's politics. It's 1v1. You hammered the Republicans, so you should expect it back.
Look, El Paso is a wonderful community, but it's not the epicenter of the crisis. The epicenter of the crisis is 800 miles away in the Rio Grande Valley. And the reason she didn't go to the Rio Grande Valley is that's where the Biden cages are. That's where you see cage after cage after cage of little boys and little girls on the floor, no beds, no mats, no cots, side by side, one after the other, wrapped in reflective emergency blankets. That's where you see facilities with a rate of COVID positivity of 10%.
Some of that's true, not all of it. You blow it up, you make it sound like, oh. But that's part of the outrage. People are like, yeah, why? Because your team had the same issue. Right? But the media hammered it. She comes out, she talks about it. She didn't go anywhere that she probably should have gone. She could have gone to Tucson. She could have gone to the Rio Grande Valley. She could have gone to McAllen. She could have gone a lot of these places and really went and said, let me get a bird's eye view of what's going on, which I think people would go, oh, now it's a no-win situation because somebody's always going to come after you. But she deserved criticism. There's a difference between outrage and criticism.
We did hear one solution, and that is that nobody's going to be able to ask Kamala Harris, why haven't you been to the border yet? She has now been to the border, so she took care of that. But on the question, which I think most Americans are asking, which is how are we going to prevent hundreds of thousands of people from coming across the border illegally, as they have since Joe Biden became president, there really were no answers there. She did talk about root causes. She did talk about reforms at the border, but there was nothing that was going to turn off the spigot and stop this flood of illegal immigrants coming across the border.
Yeah, that's fair criticism. One is meant to evoke an emotion. The other one is a fair way to criticize somebody. It's like, you really don't have any answers. Not that I expect her to have any answers. Let's be real. Do you expect any of these politicians to have any answers that are real? No. It's about that soundbite that matters. It's about that tweet that matters. That's why Trump was, for the left, a godsend. Absolute godsend. Obama was the greatest gun salesman ever. A godsend to the gun world. Why? Well, we're going to come take all your stuff away. What's the first thing you do? Well, we're going to go out and get some more so you can't take them away. Oh, that's amazing. It's perfect. Trump was brilliant for the left. And for the right, he was frustrating at times, but also brought eyeballs to them. Now he's gone. And if you go and look at the metrics and the numbers now, the collapsing of everything from the Huffington Post to Breitbart to all of these, to Fox, to regular media, to cable news is massive because the outrage is gone. But they're also exhausted of him. They still have every opportunity to cover him. But they're exhausted. So they're trying to find the new outrage. Who's the new outrage? Who's the foil on the right, right? Like Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's bad, but she's not Trump. Right? AOC and the squad, they're kind of non-existent. Why? Because Trump's not around. Trump gave them a platform. And that platform does what? It outrages people. When you outrage people, you evoke emotion. When you evoke emotion, you can vote action. And that's where we are. We're addicted to outrage. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Text the program. Love hearing from you. By the way, I don't know if Gwen Berry will win a medal. Trying to find out where she's ranked in this. She placed second in the 2000 Olympic trials. She went to the games. I don't even know if we have a good hammer thrower in the air. This feels like something that was probably like one of those things is like, you know what a hammer throw was? Back in the day, they used to throw things at other people that were trying to come, and now we've turned it into an Olympic sport, like javelin. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Or the biathlon. What is it? It's basically training for Eastern European spies that we've turned into a sport. Get on your skis, go out in the middle of the tundra, practice snipering people. Sounds like fun. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. I love giving it to my dogs. I love the look at the end of the night when they're sitting there and they're licking the bowl because they absolutely love it. But I also love the outcomes. And the outcomes is simply this. My dogs are healthier. My dog Doodle, his legs don't hurt anymore. His hips don't hurt anymore. Joints are in a better position than they ever were. And Canine VitaSmart is the only reason. It is truly incredible what it's done. I give it to my mom so she can give it to the bigger dogs, and I tell everybody, just try it. Canine VitaSmart comes with all of the stuff that your dog's food is lacking. It's got vitamins, minerals, vegetables. It's got incredible probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9. Well, the dog food says it's on. Yeah, but that dog food is meant to live in a can or on a shelf for months, maybe even years. This brings all of that out and adds to it. Try it before you buy it. It's simple. It's easy. You go to Rough Greens, ruffgreens.com/Chad. They're going to send you a bag for free. You pay for shipping. It's that simple. Roughgreens.com/Chad. Pay for shipping. They give it to you for free. Or call 833-MY-DOG-77. 833-MY-DOG-77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
Check out our Chad Benson Show Facebook page where you can hang out or hang your grievances out to dry. This is Chad Benson.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Now it's time to find out
What's trending? What's trending? Yeah, what does that mean? I mean something, right? Like it's trending on the old internet. What's trending?
Let us take a peek, shall we? Find out what's trending on the old interwebs. Start first with Google. Tucker Carlson said he was tipped off by a whistleblower at the NSA that people have been spying on him. It's hard to take people serious. I'm sorry. Chad, they probably are. Probably. What are they spying on? Just out of curiosity. Does he have some sort of secrets that we don't know about? Did you hear about Tucker Carlson? No. Yeah, the NSA is coming to get him. Uh-oh. So you got all the stuff? Tell me he doesn't have the flash drive. Maricopa County's trending because the cyber ninjas, well, they're just swell. They're going to have new tabulation equipment because they said they will not be using any of the equipment the cyber ninjas have worked with. These are the ones who are conducting the audit out here in Arizona. And, because it's so above board. I have never been a person where I look at a situation and says, no, you don't do that. No, you have every right to go and ask a question about, I feel that this was a rigged election or that there was some mistakes, whatever it is. We'd like to audit it. And this is the first time they've done a hand recount. And remember, when they do things where they say we've audited, very rarely is it going over everything again. In saying that, when the guy who's running it stars in a movie called like The Big Rigged or something insane like that, and it's called Deep Rig, and that's like letting a fat kid guard the cake with no consequences. And he's hungry. It's probably going to not come out the way that you would think. Oh, I really did just watch it. Head on over to Google. France, Switzerland, number one thing yesterday in America that was searched. If you guys didn't see it, yesterday was arguably the greatest day in European soccer history of insanity. Today, the number one search thing is England versus Germany, which will take place in a little over an hour and a half. There's a lot of things when these two teams get together, but let me tell you something. Having lived in England, the English don't forget. Their favorite chant when they play is, we beat you at 2 World Wars and 1 World Cup. The other favorite chant is, stand up if you won the war. It's awful. Oh, my Lord, Chad, that's not very nice. Kim Jong-un has lost a ton of weight. He's also being searched a lot. People are trying to find out, what are you doing? You look great. I mean, you kind of look like you could die, but you also look great. Isn't it funny? Like, that's the first thing we think of. Man, that guy's lost so much weight. He must be dying. Maybe he is. I don't know. But people are searching to find out. They just want to know, I don't know what he's eating, but it's working. He's eating hate. That's what he ate. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
Angry. I'm not angry. Talking about outrage today. People get outraged and stuff. I'm outraged. And I don't know if, like, I sit there sometimes, and it's weird because I'm very casual about stuff, and maybe that's my problem. Is, well, why don't you go on people? I get it all the time. Why don't you go on shows? Why don't you go on any of those shows? And I'm like, that's not my gig. It's not. I like radio, and, you know, sitting there on television and being pissed off for 3 minutes, just, it's not my gig. I like talk about stuff, right? I like talk about things that matter. Like right now, here's something that matters for the average person every single day. Because I went today and I paid way more than I should have for gas.
The national average for regular grade is now at $3.09 a gallon, according to the travel and fuel price tracking app Gas Buddy. That's 92 cents higher than this time last year. But last year, driving and gasoline sales were way down in the pandemic. And July 4th is a big road trip holiday, so prices could go up some more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I expect that. Now I expect them to fall. And we get these, you know, these situations where you see spurts and we'll see, depending on where you are in the country and the time of year, right? Like, so California, parts of the West Coast, in some places they shut down the refineries because they have to switch over to a special blend. You see a bounce. They've already got tons of taxes on top of all of that. In certain places like here, I'm used to paying right around $2.20. This time I paid $3.05, and I live in a place where I have like 4 gas stations right before you get on the freeway, and all of them are those giant, huge trucker gas stations, like the Flying J and the Pilot and all of those. And normally, I'm way less than in Phoenix. Now, I don't get gas in Phoenix very often because it's just too damn expensive comparatively to out there. I still save about 40 cents, but it is crazy. But you think about that. The average person, they look around and they see something like that, and that stuff bugs them. Because at the end of the day, if you're living paycheck to paycheck, money's a little bit tight. You know what that means? Every 20, 30, 40 bucks you put in the gas tank is several dollars here and several dollars there. You do that over a life of, you know, over a month or two, you start to see how it adds up. Those things are things I think the average person really cares about. We're fighting right now over things like, I don't know, the infrastructure bill, which may or may not be happening, depending, because Biden's like, I'm going to veto it if I don't get everything out. Wait, no, I'm not. I'm not vetoing it, but we're going to have 2 bills. But I'm not going to sign one. I need both. And the Republicans are, whoa, we operate in good faith.
Well, I do take the president at his word, and over the weeks and weeks of negotiations with Democrats and with the White House on an infrastructure bill, the president's other agenda was never linked to the infrastructure effort. We came to an agreement on the infrastructure effort in a way that I think is really impressive. It is true infrastructure: bridges, roads, rail, electric utility support, and so forth, and without raising taxes. And so this is a bill which stands on its own.
Yeah, and now they're like, well, hold on a second. We don't want that. We want all the other stuff. And there's a lot of things they want to throw in there. And here's the thing. I was talking yesterday. I did I'm filling in this week 3 Martini Lunch. You've never listened to it. Jim Garrity from the National Review. Smart guy. I'm filling in this week. And one of the things we talked on yesterday is the fact that the Republicans went in good faith and operated this. But the reality is the Democrats kind of have everything at their hand, you know, because they can go through reconciliation, get all the things that they're missing. And there's a bunch of stuff, right? AOC's out there talking about we need babysitters.
I believe that in the House and House Democrats are very committed to making sure that infrastructure is very centered on women. And in addition to a bridge, you need a babysitter. And it's very important that we pass a reconciliation bill and a families plan that expands child care, that lowers the cost of Medicare, that supports families in the economy.
What does that have to do with, I'm just curious, like, are we having special bridges? I mean, that's the kind of insanity. In good faith, I'm operating, but politics is no longer good faith. It used to be give some, take some, give some, take some. You got some. We got some. We didn't get everything we wanted. You didn't get everything you wanted. We found common ground. We think we got something that's going to work for the people. But when you listen to that, and you're like, we also need what, are you going to build babysitters? We're going to build bridges just for women? I mean, we can all agree we need some of these things, right? Infrastructure is vitally important. And we always hear, we're going to do an infrastructure bill. And then nobody does it. And you would think they would be crawling all over themselves to get to something that they could put their name on because they love to spend money. They love it. We need to get high-speed internet everywhere. We do. We need better. Some of our airports are so outdated. You ever watch like a show? You're flipping around. I was flipping around the other day, and it was actually, producer Phil will love this. It was an emergency episode on TV, not TV Land, like one of those Me TV. They went to LAX. It looks almost identical, and it's like the 70s. We need to update so many of these things. We need to modernize some of these things. But now you're talking about we need to do what? Special stuff? Reconciliation will give the Democrats the opportunity to go, we operate in good faith, and he's signing this, but on the back end, we're going to screw you guys. And that's not good. But this is what happens. In the world of politics now, you get one. You push something through, you get one. Then the other side and their voters go, all right, we've had enough. And we're going to have to remove you guys from power because you guys went and did something that you shouldn't have done or you overreached, and welcome to the world we live in.
My wife says that roads and bridges are a woman's problem, if you will, because oftentimes it is the woman, aside from commuting to work, who's also taking children to school or doing the shopping. And the more time she spends on that road, the less time she spends doing things of higher value.
Oh, Bill Cassidy. What does that mean? Does that mean in the kitchen? No. It's everybody's problem. We need to fix it. But this is the craziness of politics. We just can't have a conversation. Like, don't you wish you're just like, hey, let's be real. We're not getting everything we want. So what are our must-haves and our wants? What can we deal with? Let's go to the people. And when the people say, why didn't you? It's like, because we couldn't. They didn't want to give in on this. We didn't want to give in on this. We found some common ground here. We're going to push this thing through. We'll try to work on some stuff later. We're going to try to show that this is the best way to go. Maybe we can get some more people voted in. And when that happens, we can push this thing through. But at this point in time, this is the best we could do. Next question. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Yesterday, so obviously the NBA playoffs are going on. And here everybody's got sun fever. And the Suns had a chance to clinch last night and go to the NBA Finals. They lost. They're still up 3-2, heading back to Los Angeles. But Scottie Pippen was on Dan Patrick. Love Dan Patrick's show. I'll tell you guys that right now. And it was bizarre. Because out of nowhere, he's like, yeah, Phil Jackson is a racist.
By saying a racial move, then you're calling Phil a racist.
I don't got a problem with that.
Wait, what? Yeah. He doesn't have a problem with that. And it had to do to the fact Pippen was having a great season. They had Tony Kukoc, who was a white guy, was on the team, a Euro. And it had to do with the fact that apparently Phil called a play. One of the plays was essentially, you're going to go here. People are going to collapse on you. Let's feed it on out to him.
Why would Tony, who was a rookie, get the last second shot and you put me out of bounds? That's what I mean, racial.
Oh, is that what that is? He also criticized some of the stuff that Jordan did to essentially get along with Phil Jackson. And he went so far as to say, it's weird because now, do I know if Phil Jackson's racist? I'm assuming, based on the fact that I've not heard anybody else jump up and say he's racist or say anything, that maybe that's an overreach or maybe that's how Scottie felt. But it is kind of weird, right? Like that. Yeah, did you know he was a racist? I no idea. And he's talking about Jordan had to pass the ball to Steve Kerr. and that was somehow racial. I've always thought of it, look, here's the deal. Everybody's going to be heading to you. You're the guy. They're going to expect you to take the shot. And in this situation, when they collapse, you're going to have guys wide open. If you feel that you can, go for it. Pass the ball. If you think you've got a shot, that's fine. But that's crazy. Everything now is race, though. But what did it do? It got people talking. Oh, did you hear about Scottie Pippen? I'm like, I didn't know Scottie Pippen was doing anything. I had no idea. Scottie Pippen was doing anything anymore. I see him every once in a great while, and on television. But I was like, no. And now it's like, there he is. It's all about race. Everything's about race. Can't escape race. Doesn't matter what it is. In fact, we're going to touch on that in the world of race because James Corden has a thing called Spill Your Guts, and it's very interesting. We're going to touch on that, but we're also going to talk about the fact that, yes, Jimmy Kimmel's now upset people over a food segment because, of course, you can, right? You have to. We're having a food segment. This is what you should serve in the food segment if you're a white person. I don't even know anymore. Bland potato chips. Peanut butter and jelly? Is that okay? White bread, of course. Chad. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. I brought a peanut butter and jelly sandwich to work today. I'm not lying, kids. That's how I eat. That's how I maintain my amazing golf swing. My pillow. I get lots of sleep, I'll tell you that. As much as I possibly can. And I try. I don't get his ton, but I'll tell you what, on the weekends, nothing's nicer than sliding in my bed, take my nap, which I try to do at least once a weekend. And I will tell you, those sheets are amazing. I've got Giza Dream sheets. So I've got king size, wash them. Guess what? They still fit. How many times have you bought sheets, you wash them, and you're like, this is not fitting? These things fit. They got deep pockets. They're amazing. The cotton itself, right, is grown in a place between the Mediterranean, the Sahara Desert, and the Nile. Like, that's pretty awesome. It's called long cotton. It gives you this smooth, silky, kind of breathable, amazing feel that is incredible. Right now, you have a chance to buy a set, get a set for free. Buy one, get one. The BOGO, as the kids would say. How do you do it? You go to MyPillow.com, use the promo code Benson. Available in all kinds of colors, sizes, machine washable, 6-day money-back guarantee, 1-year limited warranty. You can call 800-983-4975. 2 sets of Giza Dream Sheets for one low price, plus free shipping. Or go to MyPillow.com, MyPillow.com. Make sure you use promo code Benson. You will absolutely love these things. They are amazing. MyPillow.com, promo code Benson. Chad Benson Show.
Being antisocial sucks. Hang with Chad's friends on Facebook, The Chad Benson Show. And if you just need some alone time, head on over to Twitter at Chad Benson Show. Either way, we can't wait to meet the real you.
What did I get myself into?
So here's how this game works.
Okay.
We are going to ask each other questions. Okay. The questions are written here and we have not seen them.
Okay.
We have a choice. We can either answer these questions truthfully or we have to eat whatever either of us chooses.
That's James Corden and Justin Bieber. It's called Spill Your Guts. Right? So essentially what happens is truth or dare, but the dare is these foods. What kind of foods?
Let's start by taking a look at the food that we've got. Cow blood and pork tongue jelly. We have bird saliva. We have a cow tongue. We have ant yogurt, a beetle jello shot, a shrimp and chili pepper smoothie, some hot peppers, which is hot by all accounts.
So, that's racist. That's racist. Well, how's that racist? Because apparently he has anti-Asian racism. Well, Chad, it totally does sound like that. Why? First of all, was there any way, shape, or form? Like, this is the funny thing. If I told, these things, like, we're going to give you a bat with peppers, and you start, you're going to be like, no. Where do you think it comes from? Probably China. Oh, Chad, you're not anti-Asian. You're just being honest there. 45,000 people have signed a petition. I don't even know where you signed a petition. By the way, 45,000, I think we're up over 100,000 people want Jeff Bezos to go to space and never come back. And the same amount of people also want him to buy the Mona Lisa and eat it. Just because you have a petition doesn't mean it's worthwhile. The food, yeah, it's kind of gross. Let's just for a moment say, it's kind of gross. By the way, what did Bieber do?
Justin Bieber, what shall I give you to eat? I'm going to give you the shrimp and chili pepper smoothie. Okay. Justin, you have performed all over the world. Which country has the worst fans?
Yeah, he ate it.
Oh, yeah. That is hot, no? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
I'll give you a
minute.
Yeah.
By the way, I would have answered, this country has the worst fans. Not because they're bad, but because they're so crazy, and I love it, but it's really tough when I go there. But that's the way you do it. Hey, if you think that's the thing that's bad, here's Jimmy Kimmel also apparently offending people.
1,000-year-old egg, which I don't even know how that's possible. Blood curd and a baloo, which I don't even know really what that is.
Wow, it all looks so terrible. And I know people can't smell it, but it doesn't smell
really
good either.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
It's horrific.
Yeah. Again, food segment. We're angry. I'm signing a petition. That's racism. It's anti this. It's anti that. It's not. It's your sensibility is saying, I am going to discriminate against that food going in my body. I do not, for a second, believe that food should not be made, should not be eaten. I am just saying to myself, I find it to be a little gross. And we're all laughing about it. We get over it. Can't, not anymore. Cannot get over it. Have to be angry. Outrage is big business. Outrage is huge. Nuance, context, humor, gone. Outrage pays the most. So let's be angry. I'm just kidding. You know I can't be angry. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. You can't be angry? I can be angry at the right things for the right reasons. But for most of this crap you see, it's tough to be angry. In fact, it's tougher, I think, not to laugh, though. Because laughing some of this stuff. I'm angry at you, Chad. I think you're a racist. You're anti-Asian food. No. That doesn't sound appealing to me. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
The study published in the journal Nature showed that mRNA vaccines like Pfizer and Moderna produced high levels of neutralizing antibodies and those important B cells which help support the immune system. But instead of peaking after a week or two, researchers found nearly 4 months later there was still a strong immune response, essentially training the body long term to fight off infection.
Well, hold on a second. Could this be the news we want? Could this be forever when it comes to our vaccines? If you got a vaccine, if you didn't, that's a you thing. Still always curious of why you didn't get it. Mostly for my own research. Some of the stuff that people send me of why they didn't get it is amazing. It's going to alter your DNA. It's the mark of the Antichrist. really? It's like a vaccine? Well, you not read the Bible? Never mind. So, but we want that, right? Like the one and done. Because I got to do this every year? We're so lazy. And chalk me up as one. Chalk me up as like, hey, I'll raise my hand. I got to go where to get this? Because that's kind of how lazy we are as a nation. But yes, what they're saying is there's a good chance this could be a one and done, the mRNA. Now, that's not the Johnson & Johnson, which is based on DNA. And they're saying there's a very good chance that if you've had it and you've got both of them, you are like home free.
The best case scenario, this probably will last for the life of the person who successfully got immunization with the 2 doses of the vaccine.
Which would be awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's kind of what we're hoping for. Now, we're living in a good situation. Other parts of the world aren't. I was reading an article yesterday that Australia, they're shutting things down again. They've got an outbreak, and they haven't really vaccinated anyone, and I don't know why. They've had opportunities, but they haven't, because it hasn't been a situation where they felt the need to really push the vaccines the way that we do. Other parts of the world are dying for the vaccine, and we have so much of it, we're like, all right, here's the deal. We'll give you a bunch of scratchers. Like, what's going to get you off the couch? You want like a carton of cigarettes? You got to find out what people want. There's a grab bag of goodies. We're trying to give it away. But there is going to be a push. This Delta variant is definitely far more infectious than the other ones. Doesn't mean it's more deadly, but it's going to be, we touched on it yesterday, it's going to be very hyper focused in certain areas because places in the South that have not gotten vaccinated, Mississippi, I'm looking at you. Was it like 24% of people have been vaccinated? That's not a win. And, you know, you're going to see situations where you're going to see some issues. And some of these things, even if you're vaccinated, it's going to get through. You're going to have some breakthrough stuff. But I think at the end of the day, I still think vaccines work. I have zero problems with them. Do I think we over-vaccinate our kids early in their life? Yeah, I think we can talk about that. I think it's a very real conversation to have. But if you're coming at me with this thing is a moneymaker for these people, or this is this, or this is all about controlling you, or you're the Antichrist, I can't buy into that crap. I don't. I can't. I know people can, but I can't do it. And the sad thing is that this thing turns out to be pretty nasty. And we talked to Dr. Shad Mervasti yesterday, he runs one of the medical programs at the U of Arizona. And he says, look, I'm still wearing a mask. Now he's got better access to better masks than we do. He goes, but yeah, this thing is, think of it like a Richter scale. So if you guys know anything about earthquakes. So when an earthquake goes from like a 3.5 to like a 4, that's not like a little jump. That is huge. Each one of those 10th of a point is like a jumping up 10 times. And that's what this thing is. This thing is 5 times plus more dangerous as far as spreading. And for me, I'm looking around going, all right, who's going to say it's time to wear a mask again? Who's going to say it's time that we do this? Can some people do this? Right? Like, are there some people out there that are going to be able politically to do that? I don't know. But because we've polarized everything, it's going to be tough because now people are weighing their political lives based on something that has been so polarizing that they mismanaged, but now they might be terrified to do something if they have to. So we'll see. But for a lot of people out there, I'm telling you guys, I'd just like to know why you don't want to get vaccinated. I don't care if you do. I'm just always curious about any of the things, like why you don't want to do stuff. Like people ask me all the time, why is my food choices limited to a certain amount of, like I eat like a 7-year-old. And I'll tell you why. I've traveled around the world. I've lived in a lot of places for a very long time. I spent a decade throughout Europe. I have eaten some horrific stuff. And I finally got to the point where I was like, you know what? It's my choice. And I get it that people, they have their choice. I don't want to do this. Totally fine with that. No problem with that. But what's it based on? Is it based on that you had a bad experience? Or is it based on a meme? Those are the issues I have. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. They're trying everything they possibly can. Still, lots of people missing. 150-ish when it comes to the Champlain building. We want answers. Welcome to the world of we want answers. If somebody twists off and kills a bunch of people, we want answers. Why? How? What was it about? Was it political? Was he insane? Why did he do that? When a plane crashes, when a boat sinks, we want answers. How did it happen? Could that happen to anything I'm on? We want answers. People are looking at this building and saying, we want answers. Did they know that there were issues here? Now, every one of those buildings down there probably has some issues, but are those issues as big as this? And was this issue avoidable, or was this one of those things where they would have had to scrap the whole thing altogether? People want answers.
The Wall Street Journal publishing a letter, it says was sent by the condo board's president in April, warning that significant repairs were needed and that the building had deteriorated since that 2018 report, saying, indeed, the observable damage, such as in the garage, has gotten significantly worse since the initial inspection. When you can visually see the concrete spalling cracking, that means the rebar holding it together is rusting and deteriorating beneath the surface.
Yeah. People are walking around the buildings down there, and they're shooting pictures and videos of other buildings down there where they're saying, look, it's got, it's concrete cancer. These things are falling out. Some of these buildings were built 70s and 80s. You're on the ocean. You're also on an area of land where it's not, you're not digging into to hard clay and ground. You're setting it on top of grounds that will shift over time because it's sand, which will also play into it. But who knew what and how long ago did they know it? That's the other side of this that people are starting to ask, because we inherently not only want to know, but we want people to be held accountable for their actions or non-actions. And is that a possibility? You could see criminal charges. It's possible. It's absolutely possible. Anything at this point in time is possible. Even rescuing some people, I think, potentially is possible. But every day and every hour that's going on, you go from a rescue mission to a recovery to eventually identification. That's why they were asking for DNA yesterday. They were asking for DNA, looking for family members of people that were supposedly in the building, because they may have to match DNA, because there's not going to be anything left of a lot of people. And that's sad and terrifying as you're sitting there and you're knowing that your loved one's under this giant thing, and what did they go through in their final seconds, and how fast did they suffer, all of that stuff. There'll be lawsuits, but there could be some criminal stuff too. 323-538-2423 at Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. Love hearing from all of you. Raycon's best earbuds around. Love my Raycons. Wear them every day. Do a lot of editing. I'm wearing my Raycons. When I do a lot of stuff, when I'm doing editing for not just video and stuff, also when I'm doing it for, in particular, sound, I like it low. The control I can have with my Raycons is amazing. The sound quality is second to none. No stems, no wires. 6 hours of talk time. 45-day happiness guarantee. Different colors. The noise isolating fit separates it from all of the others that are out there. It is truly incredible. And the price point, well, how about this? They start well under $100, and you can save big. So what I want you to do, buy Raycon.com/Chad. Check it out for yourself. 45-day money-back guarantee. 1 year warranty. And what that means is if it breaks, for whatever reason, even if it's your fault, right? Even if in a fit of rage you were listening to something, you're like, you send it back and they'll replace them. No questions asked. Free shipping as well. Buy Raycon.com/Chad. Buy Raycon.com/Chad. Chad Benson Show.
no snowflake zone. Uninformed opinions are in danger of melting. The Chad Benson Show.
I'm talking about outrage today. Are you outraged? Saying outrageous things is it gets you pressed. Let's be real. It does. It gets you pressed. People like it. Being a provocateur, the more outrageous you are, the faster that your light will shine. But eventually it burns out. Nobody's, I sit here and people ask me, like, what do you watch if I'm watching any of these things? If I don't watch cable news. I don't. I can't get into it. I never have. It's never been my thing. Every once in a while, like I could watch Chris Wallace and I could watch some of the Sunday shows every once in a while, but even then it's getting tougher and tougher. I watch Rogan, obviously, like Rogan. Watch a little Corolla because they talk about everything, right? Like they talk about like everything. And it's hard to watch some of these other stuff because it's insane. Case in point, Tucker Carlson.
But it's not just political protesters the government is spying on. Yesterday, we heard from a whistleblower within the U.S. government who reached out to warn us that the NSA, the National Security Agency, is monitoring our electronic communications and is...
Wait. So the NSA is coming for Tucker Carlson.
Planning to leak them in an attempt to take the show off the air.
Because they don't like your show. They're coming for you. Is it possible? Anything's possible today. Right? Like, let's be real. Anything is possible. And if you don't think that's true, a couple weeks ago, they did an expose on basically how we got into the Vietnam War. And the stuff that they did, the things that they made up, some of the things that they tried. It was, you're like, oh, my God. And in today's outrage world, it would be huge. That's the beauty of our outrage world, though, is the fact that we have an attention span of a gnat. So we're outraged over something at this moment, but don't worry, there's more coming.
Now, that's a shocking claim, and ordinarily we'd be skeptical of it. It's illegal for the NSA to spy on American citizens. It's a crime. It's not a third world country. Things like that should not happen in America.
Snowden.
But unfortunately, they do happen, and in this case, they did happen. The whistleblower, who is in a position to know, repeated back to us information about a story that we are working on that could have only come directly from my texts and emails.
So that's the only way, if this guy is a whistleblower or gal, that could happen. Because you were texting yourself and emailing yourself? I'm not saying it can't happen. And if it is happening and you've got the NSA being used as a weapon to target conservative shows, that's insane. If you were doing the same thing to the people on the left, that's insane. But it does make a hell of a story. I want to be honest. I don't think anybody's spying on us. We're trying. We're doing everything. Outside of pissing off some people who are big fans of China, we're not getting much traction with the NSA. I'm thinking we don't even like this Chad guy. He's mildly entertaining, but he's not really doing anything insane.
There's no other possible source for that information, period. The NSA captured that information without our knowledge and did it for political reasons.
Well, we shall see if that's true. We shall. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's kind of interesting. But like everything else, you've got to prove it, right? Like everything else, you've got to prove it. It's a new book out, another book about Trump. Again, how many times we talked about the fact that Trump is an industry all to himself. So you put out book after book. This is what I heard. My sources say this. Oh, my God, you should have seen this insanity. Bill Barr and Trump going at it and the screaming and the yelling.
But my suspicion all the way along was that there was nothing there. It was all
Bill Barr tells me Donald Trump's claims of election fraud are BS.
You can tell me all you want to about, this could have been hacked or, whatever. But it's a counting machine. So you just reconcile the two. Mm-hmm. There's a pile right there. How many ballots? 1,000.
Right.
Now let's see who they're for. There's been no discrepancy reported anywhere.
On December 1st, Barr publicly declared there was no evidence of widespread fraud.
Apparently he's apoplectic about that. Trump is pissed and he's angry. How dare he? He's part of the issue and people spin on him. You got the other new book that's out talking about how angry and the screaming match between him and Bill Barr and everybody. It's like, I don't never know what to believe anymore because everybody's in it for themselves. And I go back to, it's hard to tell anymore, even when people are telling the truth, if they're actually telling the truth. And that's sad. It's like we've got this audit right here going on. And you know what? As I've said 100 times, these guys could actually find something. But because it's such a circus, who's going to believe them? Even Republicans I know who supported an audit, supported a recount, are like, I can't trust these guys. I mean, that's where we are in this situation. Because outrage pays, craziness pays. And by the way, the outrage, the craziness, they don't want it to end because the money is too big for it to end. Keep them fighting and keeping the paychecks rolling in. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show.
Independent thoughts, independent life. This is Chad Benson.
After the musical In the Heights came out over the weekend, mixed in with praise for the film about the Latinx community in Manhattan's Washington Heights neighborhood, was a lot of criticism, accusing the filmmakers of casting almost exclusively light-skinned actors.
We are not invisible.
That the film erased the area's Afro-Latinx community. In the Heights creator Lin-Manuel Miranda writes on Twitter that he hears the concerns over colorism. He's sorry and thanked people for calling it out. He says he wrote the movie because he didn't feel seen. All he wanted was for everyone to be seen, and it's clear In the Heights fell short.
Oh, is it really clear? Why am I playing that? That's from a week ago. I'll tell you why I'm playing that. Because Bill Maher came out and said, no, stop apologizing. This is stupid. Do you really believe that? No, you don't believe that. It's people coming after Bill Maher now. And I like Bill Maher. Right? I do. I like him. And Tiffany Cross, she was on MSNBC. If you ever watch MSNBC, everybody talks about how divisive Fox can be. And look, all of the talking head shows, they're there to do what? To profit on outrage. It's a huge thing. It's massive. It's a massive thing. Profiting off outrage. I want you to be angry at something. I want you to be outraged over something. I want you to pay attention because I'm going to affirm your belief and I'm going to take something and make it divisive. Get you more on my side. So he called out this entire thing and said, look, this is stupid and ridiculous. And that everybody should stop apologizing. This is why nobody likes Democrats.
This is why people hate Democrats. It's cringy. Obviously, he felt it was important enough for him to make this apology. Do I think he really thinks he should apologize? I don't. He just wants to avoid the news cycle. I don't blame him. I understand this. But at some point, people are going to have to stand up to these bullies because that's what it is. It's just bullying. I can make you crawl like a dog, and I enjoy it. I mean, he's a Latino making a Latino movie with a Latino cast. Not good enough.
No, it's not good enough. It's never going to be good enough. That's the reality of that. Whatever it is that you think you should do or want to do, no matter how much you're trying, it's not good enough. It's never good enough. Ever, ever, ever.
You can never be woke enough.
Thank you, Joe. You can never be woke enough. Well, somebody took umbrage to him. Tiffany Cross is her name. She's coming hard for Bill because, he's a cracker and you have no right.
Okay, Bill Maher has been whack for a long time.
I did see the clip segment of him complaining about Lin-Manuel Miranda apologizing for the lack of Afro-Latino representation in his movie In the Heights.
I mean, he's a Latino making a Latino movie with a Latino cast. I don't think you have to apologize to Twitter.
Bill Maher, you do not get to tell people of color what they should or should not be offended by. Stay in your lane, Slim.
But here's the thing, right? Here. Most of the time, it's not people of color. By the way, show me anywhere on the doll where that Twitter hurt you. Show me anywhere where you were really upset that Lin-Manuel Miranda or anybody did something where you felt you deserve an absolute apology. You can't. He's right. It's about making peace. It's punishment culture. It's what it is. I'm going to punish you because that's what I feel like I have. It's the little power that I have is to go online and to potentially do something to you. What is it? I don't know. Maybe we get you fired. Maybe we get you to apologize to us for something that I wasn't directly connected with, that had no bearing on my life, that did not change my life in any way, shape, or form. But I need an apology. And most of the time, by the way, it's not people of color who are clamoring for an apology. It's usually uppity white people that are offended. Oh, you really think so? I'm going to go out there and say there's a chance that's true.
Maybe you should have more diverse panels of people who can explain colorism to you and systemic racism and how these things still devastate people's lives and livelihoods today. Try that instead of standing on your alabaster perch every week to crap on other people's lived experience while providing a safe haven for well-established white supremacists.
I can guarantee you his panels that he has are 10 times more diverse than what MSNBC has. I can guarantee that. It is not groupthink. He brings Republicans on. He brings Democrats on. He brings entertainers on. He brings the intellectually superiors, I like to call them, the intelligentsia. So sometimes they kind of feel like that. Oh, you feel you're superior to me. I guarantee it. He brings comedians on. He brings musicians on. He brings everybody on with differing points of view. You don't do that over at MSNBC. In fact, the only time I ever see on CNN, MSNBC, or over on Fox, any kind of person that has a differing opinion is when something goes so far against even their group that they're speaking out about it, then they feel the need to bring that person on. Look, Bill's a big boy. He don't care about this. In fact, if I'm you, Tiffany, I'm playing this for everything that you can. Why is that? Don't be surprised if you see her on the show in the next couple weeks. It's perfect. I'm going to throw my outrage out there. I'm going to freak out. I'm going to be angry. Maybe he invites me on and we could talk about experiences.
But this is yet another of your perspectives that's embarrassingly ignoring what's happening all around you that you're refusing to see. The truth is, what's happening now is an evolution, and you are fighting for your power and privilege to not become fossilized while basking in the rays of your own non-existent cleverness and comedy bits circa 3 decades ago. And quite frankly, it's just offensive at this point.
No. And by the way, he's none of those things, and I'll tell you why. Comedy in particular, entertainment, as they're finding out more and more, it's a meritocracy. Eventually, if you continue to put out crap, people aren't going to watch it. But as long as you have an audience and you have a crowd, people are going to continue to show up over and over again. People are going to continue to show up over and over and over again. Because that's what it should be about. And if you can entertain a crowd, regardless of color, right, regardless of race, religion, what you identify as, and you're good enough, people are going to show up. And people still like his show, right? They do. At the end of the day, whether it's Tiffany Cross or Joy Reid or Tucker Carlson, the outrage is big business. Get you angry, get you pissed off. I don't want you pissed off. I'd like to think at the end of the day, yeah, that made me think about some stuff. Maybe I do get a little outraged about something. Or maybe, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm watching some of these shows. And if that's great, that's great. I don't want you outraged in anything. We're hanging out. We're having fun. We're having a conversation. But for them, it's business. That's it.
The country, like it or not, is changing in real time. And sadly, fake time with Bill Maher is not. So perhaps it's time for you to take a step back and blow a quarter ounce of that green that you love so much, because clearly your thoughts have been lost in a white fog for far too long.
Yeah. There you go. Maybe you should memorize some of this stuff so it doesn't sound like you're reading. That's just me, not trying to be a jerk. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. Outrage is very much in. I was a little outraged the other day. I'll tell you why. I don't know if you saw what the Nike CEO, John Donahoe, said. So, talking about Nike. And people are asking questions about, hey, you're doing business in China, essentially. Look at all the horrific things that they're doing, and you guys are fine with it. And then he comes out and essentially say, hey, Nike is a brand of China for China. And I was like, wait, what? Like that stuff right there, that pisses me off. Does it piss me off that I'm never going to buy Nikes again? I don't buy Nikes now anyways. But it makes you think, well, hold on a second. You're saying that about Nike. First of all, Nike is not a Chinese brand. You've allowed it to become a brand in China because you enjoy the money, right? Like that. This goes to show you, whether it's outrage or whatever it is, follow the money and you'll get to the truth. Whether it's the movie industry, doing everything they can to bend over backwards for the Chinese. By the way, the Chinese have rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. You want to see what they're worried about? They're telling their diplomats, hey, calm down on the nationalism because you're starting to scare people and investment away. We can't have that. Calm down. Whoa, calm down. We don't want to scare people away. We need them to keep coming over here. Saw it with the NBA. We see it all the time.
You should know about this. You may have Nike shoes or other products in your home, and you may want to reconsider giving this company your money. Nike is a brand of China and for China, said its CEO, John Donahoe, this week. So now we can say, because the CEO told us that Nike is a brand of genocide and for genocide.
Yeah. By the way, a lot of people are sounding out. People that you wouldn't normally think are sounding out. Some golfers have said some stuff that have that's not very good. And people are wearing the brand or asking questions about that. It's a fair question. Do I think you should take your Nikes off and throw them away? That's a you thing. Again, I wear Adidas and I wear Skechers. I'm at that age now. You're getting old where you're like, you know what? I know these don't really look great with these, but man, they're comfortable. That's Skechers.
Nike is a brand of slave labor and for slave labor, of torture and for torture. Nike is a brand of a police state and for a police state.
Yeah, you could say that. You could say that at pretty much everything we own now. Find something in your house. Very few things in your house probably aren't made in China or something that goes into it made in China.
70 years on from World War II, corporations that collaborated with the Nazi regime are now facing a reckoning. I don't know if the reckoning for this disgusting, vile Nike CEO will take that long. It can't come soon enough, as far as I'm concerned.
But Steve Hilton's right to ask a question. Should you be super outraged about it? No, because at the end of the day, we all go back to Amazon and order something. We find out it's made in China. But it is something to think about. It's one of the reasons we worry. I always worry about, us in this country is the fact that we're a consumer-based nation. Trying to bring stuff back here to be produced here is tough when we like stuff super cheap. But that's a fair question right there. When you're Nike, when you think of the swoosh and you think of that's inherently an American brand, and the guy's like, nah, this is a Chinese brand. It's for the Chinese. Okay. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us. And I'll say this. Producer Anthony, who is my producer, he's my ride or die guy. He's been with me for a very long time. He said this to me the other day. I don't have any Nikes. I'm probably never going to buy any Nikes. And he's very progressive, and he's not one of those guys that does stuff like that. And I thought to myself, from him, that's a wow. That's a wow factor right there. 323-538-2423. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. It does. It's made my dog's life better. By giving him Rough Greens, which has all these nutrients that his food was missing. It's the supplement that goes on top of his food. The Canine VitaSmart has changed his life. It's made his joint pain virtually disappear. In the last 18 months, the amazing, incredible change in my dog Doodle has been awesome. And because of that, I'm telling you guys right now, try it for yourself. Vitamins, minerals, probiotics, omega-3, 6, 9, digestive enzymes, you name it, they've got it. Try it for yourself. Give it to your dogs. See the difference. Go to roughgreens.com/Chad, ruffgreens.com/Chad. You're not even paying for it. All you have to do is pay for shipping. They're going to give you the bag for free. Free bag, you pay for shipping. Roughgreens.com/Chad. Call 833-MyDog77. Rough Greens makes any pet food better. Chad Benson Show.
The Chad Benson Show, where we reach across the aisle and occasionally poke someone in the eye.
Boing! Talking about outrage today. We did a little bit of that. Hard to get out. Why do you get outraged, Chad? I love getting that. Well, I can get outraged over some stuff. How about this? Insanity makes me laugh.
Not real! Eagle! Not real! Vulture! Not real!
Those are people who believe that all birds are not real. No, no, no.
My own family didn't like that I was with this, but you know what? We all have to stand for our truth today. Can I get an amen? Amen! Today we stood for truth. Can I get an amen? Amen!
My name is Peter, and I live, breathe, and die for the feathered gospel, which states that every bird alive is a government surveillance drone in disguise that's basically watching probably us having this conversation right now.
So, every bird alive is a drone. It's the feathered gospel. The birds that you see are not birds, but indeed government agents. It's probably what Tucker Carlson was talking about.
Yeah. So, well, what we believe, and I know other people may not believe it, but what we believe is.
Thank you, Peter, for allowing us to not believe it.
That all 12 billion birds in the United States are artificial. What makes me think that? I think the evidence is all around us.
I would like to know what the evidence is. We're all waited with bated breath. So the Feather Gospel says that all 12 billion birds in the United States are indeed not real, but drones spying on everyone.
Birds sit on power lines.
Birds sit on power lines, so therefore they're charging themselves up, I'm sure.
We believe they're charging on power lines. We believe that bird poop on cars is, a liquid tracking apparatus.
So what happens when I wash it off? Does that go away? And I continue to come back to, why me?
Track people across. I think we live generally in a surveillance state in the United States right now.
Well, some of that's and just ask Tucker Carlson. He knows for sure because everybody's trying to find out his stuff.
And birds are just one part of that surveillance state. So every bird is assigned to one person normally from our research. And that's the thing. I don't speak about anything I can't prove in a court of law.
So he can prove this in a court of law. And so there's 12 billion birds in the United States. Producer Phil, how many people live here again? 345 million?
Sure, that sounds about right.
Wow. We got extra birds. We don't have enough people to keep these birds employed.
I speak about things I've seen documented. I've seen, the documentation for these. And we've actually had CIA agents come forward and confess to this.
Thank you, Peter. And by the way, just to let you know, yes, the CIA has tried stuff like this before with birds and all kinds of things. I think you guys should know that. But Do I believe that all the birds are? No, and I'll tell you why. I've hit a few with my car, and I find no electronic devices whatsoever. 323-538-2423. At Chad Benson Show is your Twitter. Tweet at us, text the program. You guys have a good day. Don't be so outraged. Have some fun. Stay cool if it's hot. If it's hot, stay, well, double cool. If it's cold, stay double warm. Chad Benson Show.
This is the Chad Benson Show.